So Trump is about to start making you pay back your student loans, which is crazy because he literally just got rid of the tool that was there to help you pay them back in the first place. It's nuts, but it's not surprising. There are people that owe billions of dollars to the government, but he's shaking you down instead.
This is literally going to crash the economy.
The same people who claim to be experts on tariffs, on the economy, and on finances are the same people that 3 to 4 years ago they were crying because they couldn't afford their student loans. It's kind of strange, because if you're an expert in finance and you got college educated on finance, wouldn't you think you could take care of your finances in your own house?
Now, that's kind of ironic coming from you, bud. Isn't this you just a few short weeks ago crying about possibly losing your farm if you didn't get some welfare from the government? Donald Trump had canceled your subsidies because you don't know how to take care of the finances in your own house? Someone that needs money from the government to run their business, can't do it without it, is going to bring up people wanting their student loans forgiven. Isn't that the fucking idiot calling the kettle black? Now I get that. Oh, people saying they're an expert on tariffs. Tariffs aren't that hard to understand, bud. Hell, every Republican, there's a video of it going around. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz talking about how Donald Trump's tariffs were just a tax on the American people. But then he gets elected, and like, oh, we never said that. 2 + 2 ain't hard for everyone. And a lot of those people with those student loans have more than paid back their loans, but they cannot overcome the interest. You've never paid back a penny of those fucking subsidies you've taken.
I wanted to start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. So the reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. I'm not the only one this is affecting. So there are other farmers in the comments saying that they're in the same boat that I'm in because they signed these contracts, and the contracts, even like, so whenever I looked into the contract, I made sure that that funding was set aside. It wasn't funding that, oh, we hope it's there whenever it's done. I made sure that that funding was set aside, so that way before I made these business decisions, I knew that funding was there per contract. So they're backing out on the contract because they don't have the funding, they can't release the funds.
I'll never understand the thought process of, well, I paid back my loans and you need to pay back yours. Instead of just being like, well, I paid back my loans and I wish you never had to go through that. Like, why are people like that? Is that experience so damn important to you that you want people to suffer more? Shut the fuck up!
People are not asking for you to foot the bill for them to pay for college or student loans. What they're asking is for us to resolve the root causes that make college so expensive or them unable to pay their student loans off.
So apparently Trump, got rid of the income-based plans for student loans. And then everyone's like, well, if you couldn't afford college, why did you go to college? Maybe because we had income-based plans and we were under the assumption that when we took out these loans, that as long as we, paid them back, we could have a reasonable payment with the option to pay more if we wanted to pay more. But this whole thing's gonna quadruple our payments, which is gonna be the same as rent now. So you're gonna have to basically choose between student loans or a house. And as someone who's currently homeless, I'm actually in a hotel because a friend of mine got me a hotel for 2 nights because I was sick. And she wanted me to recover faster, so she got me a hotel. And as somebody who's homeless and am working 3 jobs and I'm getting certified to get a better paying job to replace 2 of them, I'm working hard. And I feel like even with all the efforts I put in to, make more money or get ahead, something happens like this where it puts me back 10 steps. I'm all for paying back what I took out because I made that agreement. I'm not here to say, I want my student loans written off or I want a free handout. I just want affordable payments. Okay? And I don't even have a bachelor's degree. I only did 2 years at a community college, and it's still a lot of money. I'm probably at, I don't even know, I want to say for loans I'm about at $16,000. Yep. And my plan was to pay off loans while I was in school, but then I became sick and homeless and had to get a car to live in. And cars now are like my car, it's like $10,000, and it was a 2013 with 150,000 miles, and that's the cheapest I could find. So, and I just have like a Toyota Corolla, you know, like, I'm not sitting here trying to be irresponsible. I'm just trying to survive. And I feel like Trump is like crashing the economy so hard. Like, I don't know how we're gonna pull through this, guys. And I know MAGA's gonna be like, just go work 6-7 jobs. You're just not working hard enough. You're just buying Starbucks coffees every day, or that I'm woke, or whatever. Like, I don't care what you guys have to say. I know. I am trying so hard. I was raised to not take handouts. I was raised to not rely on anyone else for help. I was raised to be responsible, okay? But the stock market's crashed. Trump's out there buying Teslas. You know, he doesn't care about the economy. You think he cares about you? No, he doesn't. He's another rich billionaire that's gone bankrupt like 7 times or whatever. He's going to tank the U.S. economy. We are going to go into a recession. Okay. So we better buckle up, because it's gonna be a long 4 years.
What Trump is doing on student loans is literally gonna crash the economy. And I'll use my personal situation to show you how. And if you're one of these people at this point who is rooting for the downfall of people who have student loan debt, you're gonna find out real quick that when we go down, you're gonna go down too, because that's how the economy works when no one can afford to buy and sell things to each other. Because this is the impact just on me of what he has done. My payment is going to more than quadruple. I went to school for public health. Never in a million years would I have gone to school for public health and taken out the amount of money that I had to take out to get here if income-driven repayment plans were not an option, and he just closed the application to all of those plans. So my payment will be going from a percentage, a somewhat manageable percentage of my income every month, to the amount that will pay off my loans in the next 10 years. 13 million people are on these income-driven repayment plans in this country and are maybe about to have their payment double, triple, quadruple. Do you not think that's going to affect the entire economy and your job too? When tens of millions of people cannot spend money on your goods and services anymore. This is like tens of millions of people in their 20s and 30s moving back in with mom and dad type of situation because they can't literally afford an unexpected $1,000 a month student loan payment. Most of these 13 million people would not have gone to college or wouldn't have gone to the college for the career that they went for if these plans were not available when they signed those contracts. People are not trying to dupe the system. They're not trying to get out of anything. We're just trying to pay the plan that was available when we signed this contract, which was it'll be a percentage of your income. You'll be paying for the rest of your fucking life, but at least it won't be $1,000 a month on your $50,000 teacher salary.
Y'all, they about to garnish our wages. They really know how to just ruin your day. The U.S. government hates everybody here. Y'all, as of May 5th, they're taking 15% of your wages towards student loans. Y'all, I've been ignoring student loans since I've been in school. If y'all know how much I owe in student loan, y'all would think I went to school to be a lawyer. And it's a degree that wasn't even providing me a decent lifestyle. I was just living off vibes. So you mean to tell me I went to school and y'all lied to me? Y'all wanted me to go out there and do triple the work to get a degree? Y'all, I owe so much money. I'm in Texas, so we don't have state tax. 15%. Hell, you might as well go ahead and add 5 more. Add 10. Cause that's the state tax. I cannot believe this. I just had to pull over, y'all. My head started throbbing. I'm about to get a headache. They're doing this in a couple of weeks, y'all. I gotta go do deferment. I gotta go do something, y'all. We can't get away from this. People are even already saying that their credit score has dropped from a 700 something to a 500 something. Oh my gosh, my credit score. 15%, whether you have it or not, as of May 5th. So long as you have money in your bank account, they are taking it. Matter of fact, financial aid just called me the other day and I hung up on them. Not in the mood, don't have it. I'm living off life. I'm vibing. This man really said, you know what? Let's make the rich richer. Let's make the others poor.
They can't garnish your wages if you're a student. A student who is taking at least 6 credit hours. A student who is taking 6 credit hours in a degree seeking or certificate seeking program, preferably at a local community college where the tuition is going to be a lot cheaper than that student loan bill you're going to get. And if you never finish school and you want to return back, they have scholarships for that now. A lot of them. If you've been thinking, oh, I should go back to school, I'm not even using this degree anyway, I don't even see why it's necessary, I can guarantee you that one semester of tuition that's under $700 or $800 at most is going to be cheaper than 6 months of bills. And then you just take your time with it. You take your time getting your degree. Don't worry about how much time it's going to take. Don't worry, sweetheart, that time going to pass anyway. Okay, the time's already passed. All right, the bills is due now. Okay, if it was me, I would go back. I'd take some classes. I'd get them off my back. I would make sure it was something that I wanted to do. I wouldn't take out no loans, and I would just get through it that way. People have been doing this for years. I hope I just put you on game.
I would like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education created by President Carter and turn schools back to the local school districts where we built the greatest public school system the world has ever seen. I think I can make a case that the decline in the quality of public education began when federal aid became federal interference.
He's exactly right.
Okay.
He'd be proud of you.
All right, y'all know I've been following the Trump administration and the conversations as well that people are having about all of these changes that are going into effect. Now there are significant changes coming to federal student loan policies. Collections on defaulted loans are restarting, meaning borrowers who haven't paid their student loans in months could face wage garnishment or other penalties. Also, several repayment plans that offered affordable monthly payments that were really helping out people. And also, it would lead to eventual loan forgiveness just at a pace that was better for you, depending on your income. Well, those have been suspended. Public service loan forgiveness eligibility has also been restricted for certain groups. All of these moves are aiming to shift the burden of repayment back onto the borrowers, your everyday person, with fewer options for relief. So a lot of people are really upset about this. You also saw at the beginning of this video, the man who we actually featured, he was a farmer who was coming out and talking about how the Trump administration had removed some subsidies for him. And so he was struggling. He actually voted for Trump, but he was complaining and saying how he needed these subsidies, which are handouts, to help farmers. But now he had a recent video where he's basically shaming those that have student loans and aren't able to pay them back due to the administration making these changes. Well, you wanted sympathy for your situation. Why can't you have sympathy for other people in their situations? And so people are talking about that. You also have some folks that are highlighting the fact that, listen, you're not understanding. It's not that people don't want to pay student loans back. Now, some people, I'm not gonna lie, some people are saying, hey, I'm not paying it at all, and they don't want to pay it. Others are saying, hey, I can pay it, but I need time. I'm a teacher. I'm a nurse. It doesn't matter what profession. Typically, it takes time and a lot of effort in order to pay back these loans due to the significant amount of the college tuition, which causes you to take out more loans, and then also the interest rates, right? And so it's not that they don't want to pay, it's just that they need ways to pay. Don't just tell me to pay, help me figure out a way that I can pay it based on my income, right? So you have that discussion happening, and then you do have folks that are just coming out and saying, hey, go back to school. And this is my thing with that. Now, people can definitely take out scholarships. If you are aspiring to go back to school, I would say yes, go back to school if you can gain grants or scholarships that are 100% going to pay for that. A lot of people have difficulty with that piece and end up still needing to foot the bill for something when it comes to gaining either, their bachelor's or master's degree, certifications, whatever. Also, there are some companies that will pay for your college costs. Certain college costs. Sometimes there are some things in the policy where maybe they'll pay for your tuition or a portion of your tuition, but you have to cover the books, right? So just make sure that you're thinking that through. Don't just listen to these folks on TikTok. And I will say there were a lot of Black women telling other Black women to do this, but you have to think about your case because listen, there is a comment about, hey, you don't have to pay back your student loans if you're already in school and you're taking so many classes. Well, just like all these other changes are happening, you don't think people have thought about that loophole? They're probably working on something right now to change that too. So just protect yourself. I would say don't add on to your loans. I had a lot of people when my class was graduating, so other people, they couldn't find jobs. Well, they went back to school, but here's the thing, they racked up that debt. So the debt they had existing, they had to add on what they had from the master's degree. And honestly, those degrees for a lot of people that I know did not help them out. It didn't help them. It's just that it bought them some time so that in 1-2 years, when they were leaving school the second time around, the market was better because, we had voted in President Barack Obama and we were in a different economy, one where there were more jobs available. So anywho, let me know what y'all think about all of this. I think that you have to think about your situation and don't just take advice from folks on TikTok. If it works for you, great, but I can see a lot of changes to come. Also, I did want to highlight this, and this is why I left off the last clip of former President Ronald Reagan. And that is because a lot of people are comparing Donald Trump to Reagan. And this is the thing about Ronald Reagan's presidency. The economic situation for Black Americans worsened with disparities in poverty, unemployment, income widening compared to white Americans. While the overall economy improved, these improvements did not translate into real gains for a lot of the Black communities. And disproportionately, the policies harmed Black Americans. Even for women, when you really think about the employment opportunities, well, under the Reagan presidency, that created the need for most people that were married, any married couples, to work in order to make ends meet. It created a lot of economic opportunities for women because it forced them to join the labor force instead of being a stay-at-home mom. We've been in an era of the soft life, right? The men are in the soft life, the women are in the soft life, but for women, I think the softer era might be gone because of, if people really are making this comparison to Trump, we are seeing some comparisons in the type of policies that Trump is pushing for in his administration. That will make things a little different. Be careful. If you can, save what you can, make preparations for things to get worse with the economy. We do know from the last time that Donald Trump was president that there were a lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of up and downs. It was just a chaotic market when it comes to the economy, the stock market and things. Some people will benefit from that. If you're a Warren Buffett and you just have savings and cash on the side and you look at these times where people are down and out and they have to sell at, low rates and you're able to pick up and buy a lot of assets so that when it's back in the booming time, you're able to cash out and benefit, well, that's great for you. But a lot of people are just not in that case, including a lot of people that did vote for President Donald Trump. So we will have to see. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think the economy will improve? Do you think that when it comes to the student loan changes, this can help people because it will force them to pay back their loans quicker? Or do you think this will push us into a recession or possibly a depression because of the fact that folks will have less income as prices are continuing to rise? Let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later.
So Trump is about to start making you pay back your student loans, which is crazy because he literally just got rid of the tool that was there to help you pay them back in the first place. It's nuts, but it's not surprising. There are people that owe billions of dollars to the government, but he's shaking you down instead. There are Republican Congress people who owed millions of dollars to the government in the form of PPP loans, but yet he's shaking you down instead. He crashed your stock market. He's cost many of you your job. And after all of that, he has the audacity to stand at the street corner, shaking you down like a troll, demanding your money after he screwed everything up. So he screwed the economy, he's making your life worse. Now he's shaking you down for money. While his rich friends, they sip on their pina coladas in a yacht somewhere in Montenegro, taking a victory laugh off the tax cuts that you're paying for. It's the heist of the century. Also what I call the Great American Scam.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing